Welcome and hello. This is a support video for HEC ResSim. And in this video, I'm going to be discussing how to create a shapefile that can later be used as an imported map into your ResSim to assist you with locating different reservoirs, stream alignments, and so on. So let's go ahead and get started. What I have right here is a blank ResSim application. So I'm going to go ahead and start a project. Then I'm going to go generate those shapefiles, and then I'm going to come back here to ResSim. So the majority of this exercise will be in a GIS program called QGIS. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. File, new watershed. Go ahead and give your project a name, and then select the location that you want to save the project. I'm going to select SI units, and then I'm going to select the time zone. Any time zone is fine. And then OK. Okay. I have my project up and ready to go here. Now what I'm going to do is go to View, Layers, and then I want to go Add Map Layer. To do that, I first need to go Edit, Allow Layer Editing, and then Add Map Layer. And then right in here is where I'm going to navigate to select my shapefiles. So we're going to pause this activity for a moment and then go to QGIS. This right here is the download page to QGIS. And actually, you need to scroll down and say, go to the download page. Okay, there we go. I will leave a link to this page in the description of the video. If you're downloading for Windows, it's right here. If you have a Mac or Linux, it's further down the page. All right, so go ahead and download and install QGIS. It's open source. And then I'm going to go ahead and open up the program. While my QGIS is opening up, what I'm going to do is go to HydroSheds. There's lots of places online to download shapefiles. This is one I like to use for international shapefiles, specifically bodies of water like rivers. This will be the second link in the video description. All right, so once you get to this page, click on Products, and then you're going to want to click on Hydro Rivers. All right, and then scroll down a little bit. My particular location of interest is a reservoir in China. It is the Jinping hydro plant along the Yalong River. So scroll down to Asia. Here's Asia, and I want the shapefile, and then I'm going to click Download. Okay, that's downloading for me. Looks good. So let me see what I have in this zip file I just downloaded. It looks like a single shapefile, and then maybe some metadata right here. So what I'm going to do is move this shapefile to my ResSim project maps directory. Here is my ResSim project. Here is the maps directory. Okay, perfect. So let me just drag that over. And then that's going to copy or unzip. And then I'm good. I can go ahead and delete that zip file that I downloaded from HydroSheds. Now let's go to QGIS. Here it is. I'm going to click New Project, and I'm going to just save it right away. I'm going to save this in the same maps directory. Here's the project. Here's that maps directory. And then here is the shapefile. I guess it's a folder. I'm going to just put this right here, project, and save. Okay. So what I want to do now is load in that shapefile that I downloaded with all the Asia rivers. So to do that, I'll click on Layer menu, Add Layer, Vector Layer. Okay, now I want to click on this ellipse and navigate to that shapefile. Here it is. And then I want to click on .shp, this one right here, and then click Add and then Close. So this is loading in all the rivers in Asia, and there's a lot of them. Now I want to find the location of my reservoir. I know about where it is. In fact, I have the lat long already identified on Google Earth. So if I zoom in, I know it's right here. And Google Earth is good for this sort of thing. I can use the lat long down here in the bottom of the screen to help me identify exactly where it is. And I've also sketched in part of this Yalong River. So this is the general location. In QGIS, we have the lat long down here in the bottom of the screen, and it corresponds to wherever my cursor is on the map. And don't worry, as I zoom in, there will be more decimal places, so it'll become more precise as necessary. But I may be able to find this myself just because I've done this a few times. So we can start to see the river system. It's 28.18 north. Okay, so I'm a little too far south. Okay, that's about 28.18, and then it's 101.63 east. Okay, so pretty close, right about here. Yep, there it is. Okay, I can just already recognize it by the shape of the river, and you'd probably be able to recognize your project location by the shape of the river as well. All right, first what I'm going to do is create a point shape file to identify the location of the reservoir. And then after that, I'm going to sketch out a shape file for the river. Okay, so the exact location, it's right here at this vertex. Okay, so to create a point shapefile, you're going to go to Layers, Create Layer, New Shapefile Layer. Now for the type, you want to say point. For the file name, let's go ahead and navigate and save this file to our same ResSim maps directory. Okay, put it right here. Paste. I'm going to call this Jingping 1 Dam. All right, I'm just going to go with that and then click OK. Over here in the left panels, I have my layers. This is one of the only panels that I have invoked. If you go to View and then Panels, I like to have the layers one on. This is also where you can use toolbars. So there's toolbars here. I have snapping toolbar turned off, but I'm actually going to turn it on for this one moment of editing the point shapefile. So I'm going to click on the layer I want to edit and then click the pencil to toggle on edits and then click on this button, which means to add my points. Click on the snapping tool, and then boom, there's my point. I'll just give it an ID of 1 and save. And I'll turn off the snapping. In fact, I'm going to remove this snapping toolbar completely. Boom, it's gone. Right click on the toolbar is a quick way to toggle on toolbars and see this right here. Same with panels. Okay, there is my point. I'm going to save and then turn off the editing. And this point shapefile is ready to go and ready to import into ResSim. Okay, now what I want to do is sketch out a new shapefile, which will be a polyline or multi-line that represents the river. So the river at this point actually flows this direction, sort of east and then northeast, and then back down south again. But I just want this little area as a demonstration. So I'm going to start from the downstream end. I'm going to click on Layer, Create Layer, New Shapefile Layer. Now for the geometry type, this is going to be line string. And then for the file name, let's go ahead and save it in the same maps directory. I'm going to call this the Yalong River.shp. Boom. I'll leave everything else the same. Now what I'm doing is editing this Yalong River. All right. I'm going to click edit and then draw a line feature. I could turn on snapping, but I'm not going to. So I'm already starting to edit. I'm going to zoom out a little bit to make sure I go the right way. And then I'm going to just use the arrow keys to kind of pan around. This doesn't have to be exact. When you're done making edits, what you do is just right click anywhere on the map and then it'll ask you for the attribute ID. And our river is sketched in here. So I'm going to click save, toggle off the editing, use the pan hand for navigation, and then zoom out a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is change the symbology. There's really no reason to because we're ready to import into ResSim, but I just wanted to kind of show you that it can look better than this in QGIS. So right click on our point shapefile, the reservoir location, properties, and then we'll use this red dot here. We can change it to any color and lots of different shapes and sizes and so on. In fact, let's make it size 6, apply OK. So there's the location of the reservoir right there. And then for the river, I'll click on that, right click, properties. I'll change this line to blue, OK. And then I'll make it thicker. So we'll say 1, apply, OK, and there's the river. Let me reorder these layers so that the dot is on top of the line. Okay, that looks better. And now I can zoom out and not have any problems finding where it is. Well, that's all we need to do in QGIS. I'm going to go ahead and save the project and then minimize this. Now let me go back to ResSim. Here is ResSim. Now I'm going to go to Maps, Add Map Layer, and boom, here are the files that I just created in QGIS. We have the river shape file and then the reservoir right here. So I'm going to first click on this jimping1dam.shp file and then click OK to add it. And then click OK. And it looks like it did add right down here. It's very small. So let me go ahead and change the symbology. View, layers, and then I need to allow editing again. I'll select that layer and then go to Edit, Properties. Then let's make it larger. Let's make it a circle and let's make it red. And then apply. Okay. Apply. There's our reservoir. All right, let's go ahead and add the river now. So just as before, we allow editing, maps, add map layer, and I'm going to select yalongriver.shp and click OK. Again, it's very hard to see. I think I have to zoom in actually. All right, let's go ahead and change the symbology first here. So I need to select the river shapefile, edit, properties. Let's make this blue, and then let's make it, yeah, solid line is good. And then let's just make it thicker, and then apply, okay, and apply. Okay, I need to zoom in more, I can tell. So let me just do that. There we go. Yeah, so I had to zoom in a good ways. In QGIS, I never set the coordinate reference system or anything, and I didn't do that in ResSim either, but that sort of thing can be done if needed. One thing we can do though is go up to View, Layers, and then in Maps, go to Map Display Coordinates. So check off this checkbox, and then go ahead and click this Set Map Coordinates to Display. Okay, and then now we have a little bit more normal looking display, and we can also reorder these elements once again. So View, Layers, and then allow layer editing. And then we can put the dam at the top. If we go Edit, move to top, and Apply. Okay, looks good. Now we're ready to begin sketching in the location of our different structures, the reservoirs, computation points, stream alignments, and so on. So that was it for this support video in ResSim. We used QGIS primarily and some online sources to download existing locations of the reservoirs and the rivers. We saved it as a shapefile and then used the view layers and then import tools in ResSim to show the locations of these structures in our ResSim watershed setup module.